So you currently have a really ugly, tiny space that you're constantly frustrated in because you feel like the videos that you're shooting aren't landing with your audience and the quality just isn't there. In this video, I'm going to show you how we took this room to this. A full functioning YouTube and potential podcast studio. In this video, we are going through the breakdown of how we got all of this, as well as the equipment that we used, the cost, and the labor that it took to turn this 12 by 12 tiny room into a full functioning YouTube and podcast studio. So let's get to it. So in the preparation process, we really started off with the design and understanding the capabilities of the space. We only had 3 corners of the room to work with between 3 different sets. So we have our first set here, which is our desk setup. And then we have like a direct to camera setup over here. And then last but not least, we have a direct to camera and potential 2-person podcast setup with a custom wall backdrop that is made from books that I found on Pinterest. All right, Jared. So what is the breakdown for the things that we need today?
We're going to get a 1/2-inch sheet of plywood. We do need a tape measure, some 1-inch screws for the books and to put the OSB or the plywood to the wall, some double-sided tape, and then this is just some miscellaneous stuff for other things, drape rod hangers, and glue gun.
Dude, we just found the Goldmine. Look at this thing. I think we can find some like timely things here, right? What do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe not sports stuff, like timely stuff. All right, let's do it. So when we first started off, we focused on assembling all the furniture, taking care of the drapes, and pretty much the exterior of the room, which was a little difficult because furniture can be a little annoying, especially because you do not get the best instructions. So Jared tackled that. He did a really good job at it. It took a couple hours just to assemble a couple different bookshelves. But after that, we went out and we sourced all these items from a Goodwill for only $200. We got all of these books that you see over here on the shelves and the memorabilia that are on the shelves here, all for $200. So you can source things at the Goodwill and other memorabilia stores. We looked at some pawn shops. It was a little bit scarce there, but the Goodwill was a good find. Next, we started setting up our lighting. We set up our strip lighting that we have here. We set up a couple of our practicals so that we could have a little bit of light within the room. We sourced these on Wayfair. These were a couple $100s for each light, and the Govies were relatively inexpensive. So we have our Govie strip light here, as well as 2 bar lights that come along each of the bookshelves to add some rim lighting and some colored lighting that you can adjust from your phone. I think the most expensive light here is the Amaran F22X. We went with this versus a dome because we wanted to have the honeycomb feature here because it is a small space and we wanted that really dramatic look. We took the Amaran with the honeycomb setting to be able to really narrow down on the subject and allow those accent lights to really accent the space. Once we set up the lights, we started adjusting. We're using a Sony A7C, which is pretty affordable. It was about $1,400 for the Sony, and then another grand for the 24 to 70 millimeter lens that Sony has. We attached an Elgato prompter, which was about an additional $250. For our audio, we took our Shure MV7, connected it to an Elgato boom arm. The Shure MV7 was $300, and the boom arm we got from our partners at Elgato, but you can get one for, I believe it is just over $100 for the Elgato low profile boom arm, which I honestly prefer. We actually hacked this Shure MV7 to go straight into the camera here. We took the headphone jack and we ran an 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter cord all the way out from the headphone jack to our camera input here. So we ran that and fed that all the way through so that when he talks through his mic. Now, the biggest thing that you have to know about doing that type of rigging is you still need the power supply to go into your laptop. You cannot plug it into the wall. It has to go into your laptop. So his microphone is plugged into his laptop, and that's what's giving it power. And then the 1/8 inch 3.5 millimeter goes straight into the A7C to where he'll be able to use the audio. On top of that, we used a tripod that was connected to a rolling mount on the bottom here. So he's able to roll this around freely, as well as the C-stand that we have for the Amaran. We wanted this to be modular. Both of these are on rollers so that he can have ease of movability. So he has an easy time being able to move things around. He doesn't have to worry about breaking things. And it can be really smooth for him, even to take this outside of this room into the main room. So last but not least, and probably my favorite part, our book wall. Our book wall took probably about, I would say, 5 hours in total to assemble it correctly, between cutting the plywood, setting the plywood up against the wall so that it was secure, fastening all the books, and then layering the pages. Took roughly around 5 hours, and then 1 or 2 hours to be able to source the books on top of that. Now, this room used to be very echoey. It is a metal space with like metal roof and metal siding. So we took these drapes, we lined the drapes across 3 out of 4 walls because we wanted to be able to deaden the sound. And coming from here, from what it used to be before, it is a game changer. So whenever you're in a space, if you can fill it with soft things, you can deaden that sound so that you can have really crispy, clean audio. And that is the full breakdown. All in, we're looking at roughly around $12,000 for the entire sourcing of all the materials. But I have listed in the description below the gear item breakdown list so that you can check out the gear for yourself if you want to purchase that. If you found this video helpful, we have full gear breakdown. So if you want to check out that playlist right here, make sure to check that out, as well as see the actual install of the book wall. We go through full step-by-step so that you can be able to accomplish your own Pinterest book wall for your podcast or YouTube studio. Make sure you subscribe because I would love to hear from you and love to be able to help you build your own space for your YouTube or podcast studio. I'm Manager John. Peace.